All right. Definitely activate the audio. Cool. Hardware mode. I'm not actually kidding. I'm gaining the advantage. This actually is mine from the 1980s. Still have it. Yeah. All right. We're going to be following the process. Oh, okay. I lost a foot somewhere. I'll have to find it. We're going to be following the process on this webpage right over here, that you can see on screen. It's relatively simple. We're not going to really need a huge chunk of stuff. I might still have to go up and down and grab things. Definitely going to have to figure out what happened to that foot, because foot fell off. But again, this is from 1987. It's 2021. Step one. Ball and screws. Just literally ball top screws in. These are supposed to come out. Let me grab a pair of pliers that will do that for me. These pliers are these screw you. I'm going to try these needle nose first. Yeah, needle nose got it. It came out nice and easy. H source, you go back. I If you ever have to deal with any stripped out screws or rusted screws, those green pliers I popped up, perfect for that. See the gold in there? Those are nuts. Those need to come out. They're really hard to get a hold of. And they're actually holding those potentiometers in place, and we can't take the top off until those nuts are out. So, yeah, that's loose. Those are not in there very tight at all. It's off. And it'll show when I flip this over. There's also a lot of dust and crap in there. Okay. Look at that dirt in there. Good. That one's off. These will just come off nice and easy because they've already been accidentally removed. We'll have to get some tape for that. Get a little more leverage on this one. Just get over that one and it'll come up. It'll pop up. Okay. 6 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are pretty decent size, so I'll go with my biggest one on this. If it's too small, I'll grab a real screwdriver. A real screwdriver now. That's really easy. These iFixit kits are actually very nice. I'm not sponsored or anything, but like, if you ever see the tech YouTubers talking about how nice the kits are, they're not joking. These are really good. Um, I picked my setup at a Micro Center, and honestly, I'm glad I did. This would have been a pain in the butt otherwise. Okay. Oh God, that's dirty. Yeah. Let me clean that off a little bit real quick. Those are some alcohol pads. There's a little bit of rust on this, but alcohol prep swabs and prep pads are better for this than. A little dirty. What's the price? Yeah, bad boy's done. We're gonna just set it off to the side. Put it over there. Okay. Here's the inside. This will pop up. Yeah. These two potentiometers are the turbo function controls. And let's see. All the solder joints seem pretty good. So for getting the controller off, joystick off, is just these 4 screws. And you can't see it, but the actually I'll just move it over because I'm not going to be using any other bits. The little serrations right in there are actually quite handy. And this, like I said, this kit is very well thought out. These screws just go through to a mount point underneath, which will show up once I pull this off. That is unmounted. Oh, that's dirty. Oh, that's dirty too. Okay. So, yeah, you can see pretty much what's going on there. That's how it activates. This clips out, but that's going to need to be cleaned off first. Yeah, this is big enough that alcohol swab is this airplane. That swab is trashed. It had no alcohol on it. Yeah. That's a bigger pad. Yeah, I would just tear through Q-tips doing this one. Clean up. Wow. 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 This is just decades of dirt and grime. That's all it is. Just dirt and grime and buildup and bullshit. Yeah, I'm on some bullshit right now. Yeah, this is for the plastics. I'll go to the Q-tips when I get to the more substantial board level cleaning stuff. This definitely took some liquid at some point. Probably my fault. Or Jeff's fault. I don't know. They pop through. Okay, if that needs any more, I have to break out a toothbrush. Alright. It's just dirty. It's old. Okay, one, two, three, four, five, six screws. Okay, and notice free. Oh god, that needs to be cleaned. Oh god, this needs to be cleaned. Oh god. Yep, this all needs to be cleaned up. So, these are actually quite nicely labeled. Bringing it a little bit closer. Trigger B, trigger A, select start. And then that's your switch for on off. This is the switch that you use to switch between first player and second player. Circuitry seems relatively simple, just some capacitors, resistors, LEDs, and potentiometers. This is a pretty basic looking controller. Uh, let's start by cleaning off those buttons. We won't use the 99% for that. We'll use the 70% for that because it's going to be off for a while. Now, this stuff's discolored from age. That's just something that happens with plastics, depending on the plastic you're using. Compared to that. These actually aren't all that dirty right now, which is good. I saw I saw worse on the regular NES controllers I have sitting around. But you can kind of see the discoloration. Still kind of in focus there. It is discolored, but it's clean. So that's nice. Clean this bad boy off. These go to a mechanical switch, luckily. So cool. That's nice. Rubber, rubber, select. These buttons are pretty clean, but still give them a rub down. Yeah, there's a little gunk on them. Yeah, I'm just using the same thing. Because why not? Rubber strip main buttons. Main buttons. Definitely need to be cleaned. A little bit of gunk around the edges. That's pretty common. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's building some. That's getting junk nasty. Okay. Turns out I have to break out the toothbrush. I really want this clean. Isopropyl alcohol on a toothbrush is great for getting those edges. If you've ever got a really sticky button somewhere, it's usually just gunk on the button, on the physical button. Not the contact pads or anything like that. It's literally just the button. For that, you don't need to break out the 99% or any of that stuff. Just good old fashioned 70% that you can get anywhere is usually pretty good for that. Very dirty. Dirty here, too. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Real quick air dust. Oh, one more button again. Didn't come out. Okay. Those two are the turbo buttons up here. There's that washer. Yeah, and the old Nintendo and Sega Master System, and the Genesis and the Super Nintendo, this is just kind of how you keep your stuff up and running. You just pop it open, give it a effectively an alcohol bath. With this, you can actually give it a water bath. Give the board basically an alcohol clean and other stuff an alcohol or water clean, and you're golden. You also end up getting a lot of dirt in these lines right in here, so that's something that's going to have to be cleaned out. And this isn't the expensive isopropyl alcohol. This is just cheap 70% stuff. That's gonna have to. I'm gonna have to use a Q-tip to get down to that. But you don't think your controllers get dirty? You think you take care of them? No. This has also been sitting in basement storage for forever. So okay, let that clean up. All right, for these rubber things, we're gonna have to go to the 99%. Actually, for the rest of it, we're gonna have to go for the 99%. It needs to dry out real fast. The 70% back over this one. I have something finished on my 3D printer I need to get at pretty soon. But you don't think it's going to be all that bad. And then there's a little bit of dirt. It's actually kind of dirty. Remember, decades of wear. Just decades of being used. Or unused. And I dropped the rubber. It's okay, I'm cleaning it. I didn't even test this in beforehand. I'm just cleaning things up. Because I know it's dirty. It's in a basement for 10 years. I think it used for like 10 years before that. Oh, yeah, that's nasty. Yeah, it's looking nasty. It's not like even black dirt. It's like all right. Well, let's do this. Let's get placed in back like that. These got switches, so they go here. Let's drop down here. These go in. These go in. Let me make sure. Yes, that is correct. That goes there. Because it's just a push button switch. Okay, on to this board. On to this board. There's a lot of dirt on this. Watch. This is just raw. These contacts look like they're in really good shape, though. Yeah, I'm actually not picking up all that much dirt off of those. Switches. Holy shit. Let's blast off some dust. Yeah, a little bit of solder through, huh? Brown? Oh, left, right, up, down. BRCYC. Oh, okay, that was about dead. Alright, take a look on the other side. Yeah, clean that up. We're here. We might as well. Primarily just trying to get the traces cleaned off and then doesn't. Yeah, that's kind of thing that happens. This is dirty. When you catch the solder pins, it tends to rip apart. Okay, let's get at the joystick bit. How do you come from? My money's on plastic tabs. Yes, plastic tabs. So we can just do this. Get down in there. Hit those contacts. They are not dirty at all. That seal has held nicely. I picked up no dirt whatsoever. All the dirt is on these. Yep, all the dirt is on the rubber pieces. Okay, put in there, clean those up. Little specks of crap on these black bits right here in the middle will actually cause intermittent things to not work. Usually, if you've got an intermittent problem on a board setup like this, it's just gunk. And if there's something more wrong, you're kind of screwed. So. Let that dry up a little bit. Where did that foot go? That's my question. This washer here. This washer here. That's how that works down. And these are important because the pads for the rubber pads for the A and B buttons need some tension to actually work right. Okay. These are just about clean and dry. Alcohol trapped in that one. Okay, let's just squeeze these bad boys back in. Ooh. All right, I want to clean this bad boy off one last time. But first, sounds good. 1.2. And those screws will go on later. Back to the 70 with the expensive $11. $3. NES equipment is relatively easy to work on, especially when you don't have to touch up any solder joints. The spring is there to keep pressure and allow for rocking. Needs to be in position that way. And this will be okay once I get a couple of these screws back in, but I need to keep a little bit of pressure on it by hand for now. This is one of the situations where all the screws actually are kind of important. Like on this, if this screw was gone, you'd probably be okay. But all four of these are going to be necessary. Sweet. Okay, and let me get the wiring back into proper position, which means we turn that way. Bottom back on. And this actually is metal. This bottom piece. Like, plastic. Of course, the mic doesn't really pick that up. There we go. Had to start talking to get OBS to register that. Yep, yeah. In there. Nintendo NES Advantage. Trademark. Model number NES 026. 1987 Nintendo. Patent pending. Made in Taiwan. Serial number 8454261. I wonder if I called Nintendo for support on this, if they'd still have information. It might be worth investigating later. Okay, we're not done with the cleaning yet. Two more. There's two more things that need to be cleaned. Oh, that feels good. It actually feels pretty good. Those need to be screwed back on. Apologies for this not exactly showing up great on camera, but what do you want? I got a webcam. And I took that right off. Let's see if these needle tweezers will do a little bit better. Hmm. What are you not catching? I wonder if we need to go back in and try get over here. Yeah, that one's catching. Okay, that doesn't need to be much tighter. Interesting. Yeah, that had fallen down just ever so slightly. There we go. Now they're tight. Okay, last things to clean off are these two little bad boys right here. Back to the toothbrush and the 70%. Honestly, don't really need all that much. These were not very dirty. They're just slightly yellowed, like a lot of plastics at this point. I could probably 3D print something to replace that. Just feels like TPU. Yeah, rubbery. Honestly, this will be on my lap most of the time, so whatever. Down. Point the button to there, because that is the bottom. Ball is clean but a little bit scratched up. Oh, hey, guess what? That's taken apart and put back together. Now, give me a minute. I gotta check something. Then I'm gonna set up the NES. And we're gonna play some Tetris on this bad boy. No, I wasn't kidding about 3D printing. Dance game parts. TPU. Translucent pink TPU. If I were to put a light source behind it, you can actually see through it a little bit. Okay, let's see. How do I want to handle showing off the work? I believe that's one player. Is this two player? Okay. Do this. Yes, you just saw my face. It's not good looking. CTM stencil, hide cloud. Let's see if I can get the easy cabinet to actually work. There we go. Now we're good. All right, start button right here. Left, right, up, down. Turbo functionality is going. LEDs work. Turbo functioning, yeah, that looks like it's solid. With it. And then it's hooked up two-player, but the game doesn't care about two-player. Select works. All right, let's play a 12. Might be a good idea to get a rubber kit for this thing. Maybe. Oh, this is a 2. No wonder I'm having such an easy time. I accidentally actually had the turbo on. It made things worse. Of course, now I get the piece over. I used to play everything with this controller. Everything needs to be played with this controller. So yeah, controller's working. I'm just used to playing on a regular handpad, so that's a stream. Night.